There was confirmation yesterday from the Transport Minister, Fikile Mbalula, that nearly 200,000 driver's licenses have to be cancelled because they were bought. I mean this, literally bought from corrupt officials. At least 80 officials have now been found to have been selling driver's licenses after an investigation involving the Special Investigating Unit. Meanwhile, the only machine in the country which produces the driver's license card is still working 24 hours a day, load-shedding permitting to catch up the backlog, which means that many people are still waiting for their licenses. Wayne Duvenage runs OUTA, the organisation undoing tax abuse. Wayne, good afternoon to you. If you look at the situation around corruption and driver's licenses, it looks like, well, frankly, a hot mess. Government says it's going to recall these licenses. I don't know if it could even do that. Do you think it's possible to recover the situation in some way?
Well, yes, it is, and it has to be recovered. The problem is it's a systemic one. And they need to really have a deep dive and look at the systems to circumvent and get rid of these loopholes that are there. It's not difficult. I mean, if you ran a business and you were losing this amount of money and this type of corruption was happening, you would quickly close those gaps. So if business can build systems to minimize people taking advantage of the system, then so can government. The problem is government doesn't engage. Government doesn't have a systemic way of thinking. It's not in a competitive space. It's a monopoly, and so it doesn't have these efficiencies built in. Civil society works very closely with some of the problems that are happening, but again, another added problem to this is that government doesn't engage with civil society. So it does its public engagements at a very high level and not meaningfully. So it's no wonder that you have all these gaps and this abuse of the system.
We've had so many problems with driver's licenses and cards. I think some of the problems may lie in that their driver's license centres run by councils, others are run by provinces, I think 2 are run by national government. Does that whole entire system need to change? Do we maybe need just one authority? I mean, it's been madness that people in Gauteng weren't able to get an appointment online, so people would just drive to another province, wait until they're on a business trip to KZN or something and get a driver's license there.
Yeah, look, you know, these are competencies that should reside with the metros and provinces as well as national. But national manages the NATIS system, the vehicle registry and licenses. And it's not difficult to link up payments, whether it's being done at municipal or provincial level or national. It's not difficult. You need to have the license entered into the system and a payment that's registered with it. And there's a cash flow, a registration that this is how businesses work. So it's not difficult to introduce this. The scheme, though, hasn't been built well, hasn't been managed properly, the updates. So there's a number of challenges that it has. So I think government's got to bring in the specialists, engage with civil society. We can find the ways to close all of these loopholes, but it's going to take a political will. It's going to take government, and there are various role players within the system, not looking for the handouts, not looking for contracts that go to mates and pals and others that are going to benefit out of these schemes. We need to find the most efficient scheme possible. The same thing goes for the road accident fund, Stephen. I mean, it's just diabolical that we have this fund in the mess that it is when there are companies, insurance companies that run systems that negate all the problems that road accident fund have. But for some reason, they don't want to engage with the specialists. So, yeah, they've got to really look deep and hard and have the political will to fix these systems once and for all.
One way to do this would be to reduce the amount of sheer traffic through the driver's license system. A lot of that traffic is generated because you have to get a new driver's license card, not a new license, a driver's license card every 5 years. As I understand it, the Transport Department has said, I think, they'll move to a 10-year system. Do you think it's going to happen?
Well, they said they're looking into it. We gave them the research we'd done. They said they were going to do their own research. That was going to be handed to the minister at the end of April. We were going to hear sometime in the middle of the year about their decision on this. Well, it's now nearly November, and we still haven't heard. And yes, that would halve, if you just move from 5 to 10, it would halve the amount of driver's licenses that are required. And as we said before, Stephen, the Minister Dupuy Peters had already approved this decision in 2013, and it was reversed for some reason. We don't know. We think it had something to do with money, And it's sad when government departments run and motivate their processes are based on the amount of money they can make. They should be looking at efficiency and how much money they can save the public and government, but it doesn't seem to be on their agenda.
Wayne Duvenage, thank you very much indeed. Do appreciate it, from the organisation Undoing Tax Abuse.